foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show.
Yes, now more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a better nation. We want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And that is why every morning from 8 to 9, every night from 8 to 9, we engage in a robust but meaningful conversation via radio and social media. And it's always a pleasure for me as the host to facilitate such conversation. I want to encourage those who are viewing me on Facebook and on YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. Take some time and share the live. Because when you share the live, your friends on your page, because they may not be my friends, they are your friends, they will get the opportunity to click and to view. So take some time and share the live. Again, I want us to look at what Keith Mitchell said at that zonal meeting that they had about our beloved Prime Minister flying in that helicopter and what the whole business is about and why Mr. Dowden flew to Montmorris and what was the purpose behind that? Because it's important. You realize the opposition, they have gone very negative. They're acting even more desperately at this point in time. They're desperate to the core. But they're misleading the general public. And make it even worse, they are misleading their supporters because they know the education level of their supporters. They know that the majority of supporters of the NNP, they are not fully lettered, right? Some of them cannot reason for themselves or think on their own. So it's just a laugh when they go to these meetings, not even understanding what Keith Mitchell is saying to them. So here you have a Grenadian, a successful Grenadian. He lives abroad. He decided to invest in his homeland, in Grenada. Make it even better. This gentleman is from Keith Mitchell's constituency. He's from Montmorris. Montmorris is a part of St. George Northwest, the constituency that Keith Mitchell is the member of parliament for. So here you have this successful Grenadian who lives abroad deciding he will invest in his country. He's in the aviation business. He has a number of helicopters. You know, he decided he will come back home and enhance the tourism product. So he launched his business officially at the Monk Morris breakfast. Every month, I think it's the last Sunday in the month, they would have the Monk Morris breakfast. So that was the ideal venue to launch his business. He's from Monk Morris. They have that breakfast there. It's the playing field. So they coordinated, they organized to have that launch be done there. Our beloved Prime Minister is pro-business. So he was working in tandem with this individual to make sure that this thing is successful because it's business for Grenada. It is good for Grenada. So it was arranged, organized that the Prime Minister, together with the businessman, the gentleman, the Grenadian, would fly from Morris Bishop International Airport up to Mount Morris in the helicopter. And the business will be officially launched there, right? Because he's providing that service. So if a tourist comes to Grenada, they want to go up to Carriacou, they want to go to Petit Martinique, they want to fly over Grenada, they want to go up to St. Patrick, there's playing fields and a number of those areas that could facilitate that. So this business was launched, but Keith Mitchell went on his platform, on NNP's political platform, and he said certain things there that caused a lot of reasonable people in the country to conclude that Keith Mitchell doesn't want good for Grenada. He doesn't like when good things are happening for Grenada. That is the conclusion. Because, firstly, this was the launch.
Well, I want to congratulate Dowden Aviation on the launch of our first helicopter service ever in the history of Grenada. I think many Grenadians have always felt for a long time that this was something that should happen in Grenada, and I'm really happy that you're the one to have finally taken the leap and to overcome, obviously, I know the many challenges you had in setting this up. But I'm really ecstatic. I think Grenadians would be ecstatic, particularly young Grenadians, because I think it's an opportunity for them to see a career in aviation over and above just planes. And I want to say congratulations. I think it will all go well for a number of areas, from Medivac to tourism, just to greater accessibility on a whole. And so I wish the venture success. I know it will grow. I hope we can grow beyond Grenada and even regionally as well. And I'm really honored that you would have offered me the opportunity to, in a sense, take my inaugural flight on this. So congratulations again. And I look forward to continue to support and partner with you so that we can make this a success.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to learn to become a pilot.
Right, so the two over the St. George's area onto Mount Morris. Right?
We saw the opportunity to bring something new and different to Grenada, and it was a great opportunity. With the excellent leadership from the Prime Minister, we were able to get all that done. And like he stated, this is going to be a great thing for the island. We're going to be promoting tourism, which is going to bring more economic value to Grenada. And hopefully in the short term, we're going to start working on the education part. Hopefully getting in maybe a training school or mechanics, maintenance, some vocational tech that we can work along, try to get the younger generation involved into Grenada. So
very, very good initiative, very good business. Here you have a Grenadian investing in Grenada, giving back to Grenada. And that Grenadian happened to be from Keith Mitchell's constituency, from Mount Morris. So Keith Mitchell should be very happy about such a business, such investment. But this is what Keith Mitchell had to say on his platform after. So the NNP, they have this zonal meetings. So Keith Mitchell went there, and this is what he had to say.
Constituency, they have breakfast every Sunday. You know that? It's every Sunday at the end of the month, they have a breakfast. So for the last 40 years, I've been going to those activities. I don't go there all the time. So last Sunday, at the end of the month, they had one. And your Prime Minister helicoptered into the playing field in Mount Morris. Your Prime Minister helicoptered into the playing field where they're having the breakfast. And everybody was in shock. So listen to this thing. Listen to this, just listen carefully. A brother called me and he said, Doc, how we ain't see you in Mount Morris this Sunday? I said, boy, I'm looking for a helicopter and get one yet, you know. Get one. Because after a man riding a helicopter, I can't drive a car, you look bad. So that's why I didn't go. Because I didn't have helicopter. The point I'm making is, you see the whole stupidness taking place in this country? This guy who is now in charge of this country, I don't talk about it too much because I don't want anybody to believe I have a problem with the person. I don't have a problem. I have a problem with the behavior and the attitude. People are suffering in the country. People cannot feed their children, but you're riding in a helicopter in a small country as Grenada, Carriacou, and Piedmont. And how come supporters of the National Democratic Congress not telling this young man to behave his damn self? Somebody must talk to him. He's making a fool of himself and the country.
So, folks, this is what Keith Mitchell had to say about this venture, about this business venture, this investment from a Grenadian brother who is investing in his country. In his country. Come on. And make it even worse. This guy is from Keith Mitchell's constituency. But let us examine deeper what Keith Mitchell had to say, because I think it's important to examine what he said in that piece, because it breeds jealousy, it breeds hatred in my belief, and it is a cause for concern.
Constituency, they have breakfast every Sunday. You know that? It's every Sunday at the end of the month, they have a breakfast. So for the last 40 years, I've been going to those activities. I don't go there all the time. So last Sunday, at the end of the month, they had one. And your Prime Minister helicoptered into the playing field.
Right. So the first part, he said, your Prime Minister. But the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell is the Prime Minister of the state of Grenada, which includes Carriacou and the PT Martinique. So he is the Prime Minister of this state. He is not your Prime Minister. He's everyone's Prime Minister. So that's the first thing. So you have to listen to Keith Mitchell and what he actually saying. So he's speaking there as though he's above everybody else. And that is showing up because you would go to official events and the Governor General would arrive. And this guy, from time to time, would refuse to stand as a form of respect for the Governor General of the country, of the state of Grenada. Right? It happened on a number of occasions where he refused to stand up. So I am saying to you, that's the first thing. The most Honorable Deacon Mitchell is the Prime Minister of the state of Grenada, which includes Carriacou and PT Martinique. So to go on a platform and say, your Prime Minister, meaning he's speaking to his supporters, And most of his supporters, they are not lettered. They ain't bright. They cannot reason for themselves. They don't even follow the news. They don't even know that this thing took place. They don't. They don't follow GIS. They don't follow news, period. They take what this guy says and they run with it. So that's the first thing there you need to notice.
In Montmorris.
And then they start laughing because he's saying to them, your prime minister went to Montmorris breakfast on a helicopter. So he's actually trying to say to these people, well, this guy didn't take a vehicle and drive there, and Grenada is very small. How could the prime minister take a helicopter and come to the breakfast? What is this? You see? That's what he actually implying, in my belief, to these unsuspecting supporters who cannot even reason for themselves.
Your prime minister.
And he repeats it over and over. Your prime minister, your prime minister. So it's not his prime minister. You see? Your prime minister, your prime minister. That's you see, this guy is dangerous. Keith Mitchell is dangerous to this democracy, in my belief. In my belief. He's dangerous. In my belief. Here it is. Last evening, they had another zonal meeting. And this guy put down a good show, a titivation, a good theater performance. He said he had some friend who plays domino with him, right? Every Friday, they play domino in Boucheju, Brizan, somewhere thereabout, every Friday. And that friend fell ill and went to the hospital, so he got the news and he went there in ICU and he knocked and a doctor came out and, whatever was said there. But anyways, that friend passed away, right? And he started speaking. He said, well, I'm not in the best of shape and mind and, what's to that effect? And he started to condemn the healthcare system because his friend passed away. He started condemning the healthcare system. Well, they don't have aspirin and then have this and they have not basic this and basic. And then he stopped. And he said, he can't continue. He's not in the right frame of mind. Right? But that is how this guy operates. That is how he operates because he wants to give people this false idea. Right? And that's how he triggers certain things within the country. I know. That's his trick. That's how he operates. I mean, yes, it's sad that his friend passed away. Right? But to go and put on that show at your zonal meeting to create what impression, may I ask? What impression are you trying to create? No healthcare system in the world is perfect, right? But don't give people the idea that the reason why this guy passed away is because of a bad healthcare system that we have. It's just tricky on this guy's part. He's dangerous in my belief. He's a dangerous individual in my belief.
Helicoptered into the playing field where they're having the breakfast. And everybody was in shock.
Right. And then he says everybody was in shock. He was not there. But he's telling his supporters everybody was in shock. This guy is dangerous in my belief.
So listen to this thing. Listen to this, just listen carefully. A brother called me and he said, Doc, how we ain't see you in Montmorris this Sunday? I said, boy, I'm looking for a helicopter and get one yet.
Right, and that's jealousy. That is jealousy. That's a sign of jealousy and hatred. A brother called him and then he says, you know what I tell him? I ain't get a helicopter to come in Montmorris yet. And what's to that effect? This guy is jealous of the most honorable Deacon Mitchell.
Get one. Because after a man riding a helicopter can't drive a car, you look bad.
Right. And then he comes with this kind of male-ish persona, personality, demeanor. You know, you see, he put his hand and he go look bad, and if he ride with a, after a man ride with a helicopter and he come in with a vehicle, he go look bad, and you know what's to that effect? This guy is dangerous, very dangerous.
So that is why I didn't go.
And then he says, that is why I didn't go. In this colloquial manner. That's how this guy functions. But it is a sign of jealousy. The guy is envious. He's jealous of our beloved Prime Minister.
Because I didn't have helicopter.
Because I didn't have helicopter. And the guy knows, Keith Mitchell knows, in my belief, what this whole thing is about, Don't fool yourself. This guy knows. But he would go in this meeting because the majority of his supporters, they are not lettered, right? A lot of them, they're illiterate. They cannot read, they cannot write, they cannot reason, they cannot think for themselves. And he's preying on their vulnerability, in my belief. He's taking advantage of these poor people. And he goes there giving them this false idea, misinformation, misinforming these people. It is sad, but that is what this guy has been doing for all these years. All these years, he has been doing that to these poor supporters of his. Some of them, they cannot, pick up their name. They're that illiterate. They cannot reason at all. And he's taking advantage of that. He knows what he's doing. He's intentionally doing that to his supporters.
The point I'm making is, you see the whole stupidness taking place in this country. This guy who is now in charge of this country, I don't talk about it too much because I don't want anybody to believe I have a problem.
Right. So you don't talk about it too much because you don't want anybody to believe that he has a problem with the individual. Right? That, again, says to you that he jealous the guy. Right? He jealous him. And there's a level of hatred coming out from Keith Mitchell's voice and tone and you get it from him every time he speaks.
The person, I don't have a problem. I have a problem with the behavior and the attitude.
But tell me, what is the behavior here? An attitude. You have a Grenadian brother, right? A citizen of Grenada who hails from Montmorris, from your constituency, Keith Mitchell, who decided to come back home and invest in his country. He's a successful businessman in the aviation area of things. The guy decided to come back and invest in his country. He is part of your constituency. So what behavior is that? What is wrong with him investing in his homeland? Why? What is wrong with that? And having our beloved Prime Minister team up to make sure that his business is successful. While I'm on that, when it comes to foreigners and them investing in Grenada, Keith Mitchell has all kind of nice things to say about them. You remember when they launched the shrimp farm, the failed shrimp farm? The failed shrimp farm? You remember what Keith Mitchell had to say in the shrimp farm? My mind just went straight back on that, the shrimp farm, when Al Jazeera did that piece. But there was a launch, an official launch. But it's foreigners. He has all kind of good things to say when it comes to foreigners investing in Grenada. But when it comes to Grenadians, our people investing back home, he said something at the shrimp farm.
It was for a project in Grenada also linked to an ambassador role.
Yep. So GSA was the project, and then Acros, they were the people who were bringing the money in.
Yeah. What would have been here and what is here now is totally different.
The site was meant to be an organic shrimp farm, a government-approved project for foreigners to invest in and gain citizenship.
They spoke about a lot of jobs, for this area. All in all, I feel like a real disaster for the country. You know that didn't go on.
Carl David was working for the man who initiated the project, Leo Ford.
So we would have employed 100 folks in the area that had the highest unemployment rate on the island. So there had to be something going on the island where they needed a big rah-rah for the election, because the election was coming up.
Plans for the shrimp farm were announced by Grenada's Prime Minister.
I'd like to invite to the podium the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell.
I'm so proud of what we've seen here this afternoon, and look forward to it, to see this project take off in every sense.
Right.
The PM, as we will...
Right, hold on. Yes, that piece there. That piece there. That's the piece. So it's a foreigner. Foreigners, they involve in this shrimp farm business. And you know, Grenada lost $50-something million in that failed shrimp farm project with those convestors. We lost $50-something million there. But just that part, I wanted you to hear. It's a foreigner investing, well, they didn't really invest in Grenada. They came and they robbed Grenada of $50-something million. But he's happy to be there talking highly about this particular initiative. Huh?
It's coming up.
Plans for the shrimp farm were announced by Grenada's Prime Minister.
I'd like to invite to the podium the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell.
I'm so proud of what we've seen here this
Right, so he said he's so proud of what we've seen here this
afternoon, and look forward to it.
And he looked forward to it.
To see this project take off.
To see this project take off. But when it comes to Mr. Dowden, who is from Keith Mitchell's constituency, investing in Grenada, right, with this new venture, this new business, this helicopter service. You heard what he had to say, what Keith Mitchell had to say on the platform about the thing. And that is what sickens me, because with this particular venture with the shrimp farm, Grenada lost $50-something million with these blue-eye guys, white guys who came and conned the NNP administration. This piece that I'm playing here is a piece from Al Jazeera, you know, an international media outfit who came here to investigate all what was taking place with this shrimp farm and all this passport thing.
In every sense.
The PM, as we were walking out of that, I said, I'll build it, but I'm going to need your help for the approval process. And that's when the Prime Minister said, well, the election's coming up. We take campaign contributions. Talk to my ministers.
How did you interpret that comment?
That means they wanted a lot of money to make everything go ahead quickly.
Soren Daoudi, a Swedish national, was the partner who raised the project funding. Both Leo Ford and a colleague say Daoudi told them he was offered an ambassador role.
Soren was talking with his attorney, and his attorney, who's very well connected with one of the ministers, convinced him that he could become an ambassador for the UAE from Grenada.
How did he seem to feel about this?
He was like a little kid in a candy store. He went out and bought himself a pair of $800 or $900 shoes. In the ground opening, it had rained and it was muddy, and he's traipsing through in these beautiful, fancy shoes.
A year later, Keith Mitchell won his 5th term in power, but neither the ambassadorship or the shrimp farm ever materialized. Soren Daoudi denied he'd been offered an ambassadorship and called it a vendetta by Leo Ford. He also denied the money raised was missing.
Right. So we know we lost $50-something million under the NNP administration, under the Keith Mitchell-led administration, with this failed shrimp farm. And Keith Mitchell came out after and said the following.
Keith Mitchell said the Zero Water Exchange Sustainable Organic Shrimp Farm project in St. Mark is under investigation. He made this disclosure in response to questions asked during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing.
Well, we have been disappointed in this one. We are not satisfied. We have now investigating, and we are seeking support from our friends regionally, internationally, to to deal with the proprietors of that particular project, because we know through the program they've collected significant sums of money and they've done in investment. And
Dubbed the Zero Water Exchange Sustainable Organic Shrimp Farm, the project at Bouquet, St. Mark, was launched in 2017. The organization spearheading the initiative is GSA, the Grenada Sustainable Aquaculture, and Manfred Suffering is named as GSA's operational manager. The company indicated during the launch of the project that it planned to build and operate one complete and functioning barn by year-end 2017. Construction of additional barns was planned for 2018. Prime Minister Mitchell said that because of what transpired with the project, government will make changes to the conditions of people receiving monies from the CBI program.
Right, so we know we lost $50-something million. And when I say we, the people of Grenada lost $50-something million with this failed shrimp farm project. These convestors came and they conned the Keith Mitchell-led administration all these millions and millions, because the Keith Mitchell-led administration, the NNP administration, they always appreciate foreigners more than their own locals, than their own born and bred Grenadian brothers or sisters, right? That is how they have always functioned. Some white guy come wrong and they would jump on the bandwagon, they would give them everything. But here it is. You have a son of the soil. You have a born and bred Grenadian who is very successful out there. The gentleman came and he started this aviation business right here. He decided to give back his country. He's a Grenadian.
Well, I want to congratulate Dowden Aviation on the launch of our first helicopter service ever in the history of Grenada. I think many Grenadians have always felt for a long time that this was something that should happen in Grenada.
And that's the difference between our beloved Prime Minister, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and Keith Mitchell. Huh? That's the difference. The most Honorable Deacon Mitchell believes in Grenada. He wants good for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. All right? And that is why he continues to encourage our Grenadian brothers and sisters who are doing well out there to invest back in their homeland, to build this place. That's the difference. Look at our Prime Minister there speaking, commending, applauding this Grenadian brother who decided to start this aviation business with the helicopter. Come on. This is good. This is a good business to enhance our tourism product.
And I'm really happy that you're the one to have finally taken the leap and to overcome, obviously, I know the many challenges you had in setting this up. But I'm really ecstatic. I think Grenadians would be ecstatic, particularly young Grenadians, because I think it's an opportunity for them to see a career in aviation over and above just planes. And I want to say congratulations. I think it will all go well for a number of areas, from medevac to tourism, just to greater accessibility on a whole. And so I wish the venture success. I know it will grow. I hope we can grow beyond Grenada and even regionally as well. And I'm really honored that you would have offered me the opportunity to, in a sense, take my inaugural flight on this. So congratulations again. And I look forward to continue to support and partner with you so that we can make this a success.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to learn to become a pilot.
On the radio, you're flying over the Georgia area and tomorrow in the helicopter.
We saw the opportunity to bring something new and different to Grenada, and it was a great opportunity with the excellent leadership from the Prime Minister. We were able to get all that done. And like he stated, this is going to be a great thing for the island. We're going to be promoting tourism, which is going to bring more economic.
So this gentleman, Dennis Dowden, he's saying here, we're going to promote tourism. We're going to add more to the product, right? We want more tourists, meaning, experiencing, exploring Grenada, more revenue for Grenada. It's good for Grenada. That is what Keith Mitchell is not pleased about, that the most honorable Deacon Mitchell flew with the gentleman from the airport onto Montmorris so he can launch his business. That's where the gentleman is speaking at Montmorris at this point, launching his business officially.
Economic value to Grenada, and hopefully in the short term, we're going to start working on the education part. Hopefully getting in maybe a training school or mechanics, maintenance, some vocational tech that we can work along, try to get the younger generation involved into Grenada. So,
you see, so folks, I am saying you have to understand when a person speaks where they're coming from. This gentleman, Dennis Dowden, he's a patriotic Grenadian. He's a genuine Grenadian. The most honorable Deacon Mitchell is a patriotic Grenadian, a genuine person who wants good for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And then you listen to Keith Mitchell talking about this good initiative, this wonderful initiative. This is what Keith Mitchell had to say about this thing,
Constituency, they have breakfast every Sunday, eh? You know that? It's every Sunday at the end of the month, they have a breakfast. So for the last 40 years, I've been going to those activities. I don't go there all the time. So last Sunday, at the end of the month, they had one. And your Prime Minister helicoptered into the playing field in Montmorris. Your Prime Minister helicoptered into the playing field where they're having the breakfast. And everybody was in shock. So listen to this thing. Listen to this, just listen carefully. A brother called me and he said, "Doc, how we ain't see you in Montmorris this Sunday?" I said, "Boy, I'm looking for a helicopter and get one yet, no." Get one. Because after a man riding a helicopter, I can't drive a car, you look bad. So that's why I didn't go. Because I didn't have helicopter.
But folks, that is the kind of leadership that we should never return to the helm in Grenada. That type of leadership or rulership. This is dangerous. And this same individual was Prime Minister of Grenada for 20-something years. And he has been in the Parliament of Grenada for almost 40 years. The 3rd of December, I think, would make him about 40 years in the Parliament of Grenada. But this is the kind of rhetoric that he would go there on his platform and throw out to his supporters and other people who cannot think for themselves. These things are learning curves, learning examples for all of us. For all of us. The NNP is, in my belief, a curse. They are not good for Grenada. The new National Party, in my belief, is a curse, has been a curse to this country, has been a curse to Grenada, not a blessing, in my belief. They have done more bad than good, in my belief. And it's clear that this guy doesn't genuinely love this place. So he's out there saying all manner of things on a platform. Come on. And his supporters laughing, gigi, 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 gigi. What is this? And you want to come back in power? And you want your party to come back and rescue what? What's your party coming to rescue? Here you have a Grenadian who decided to invest in his country. Come on, invest in his country. Who wants to build Grenada, who wants to create employment and opportunities for our people. A Grenadian brother, you know. You should be happy about that. You should be extremely happy about that. You shouldn't go on a platform and try to mislead your supporters about what took place and what this thing is about. No. No. But the majority of your supporters, they cannot even reason for themselves. They cannot even think for themselves. You just look at the people who are going to these meetings, this NNP zonal meetings. Plenty young people are not going to that meeting, you know. And they bossing people, the same people going to all these meetings. So it's like a fake crowd. They go to all these different constituencies, the same set of people you see at nearly all those meetings. Same set of people. And you just watch them, because I know a lot of them. Many of them cannot read, cannot write, cannot reason, cannot even think for themselves. They get a free bus, they jump on the bus and they go to these meetings. But that is the cadre of people who support the NNP generally. That is why this lunacy could continue. That is why, you know, you follow the rhetoric coming from that particular platform and you wonder. It's like they want to breed instability in the country. That is what they want, in my belief. It is scary because you're talking about 20-something thousand. You could even round it off to 30,000. You're talking about 30,000 people in this country who still support these people, you know, and that kind of rhetoric, and that kind of lunacy, and that kind of stupidity, you know. Yeah, that is dangerous for any country. Because these people, they support the NNP no matter what Keith Mitchell says, no matter what he does. And that is why they only highlight the negative stuff. They are not interested in anything good, anything positive about this country. And hence the reason I said to the NDC openly, you have to focus on your supporters and the people in the middle who want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You have to support your people and those in the middle who want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Because if you go to focus on those NNP supporters, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to make any progress. Grenada not going to move forward at all if you focus on these people. Because to them, Grenada needs to stay one way. Because to them, the only person who could rule run this place is this individual. And I'm saying to you, you have to remain focused. Focus on your supporters and the people in the middle. Because you're talking about your supporters, right? That's a good 25 to 30,000 people. NDC supporters across Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And then you have the people in the middle who are not NNP, who are not NDC. All they want to see is good things happen for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. That's all they want. They want good things to happen for this place. And they are pleased with the performance of the NDC administration, with the performance of our beloved Prime Minister, the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Those people in the middle. And you're talking about a good 3,000 to 5,000 people. Right? And then you have our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are registering in record numbers and who will participate in our election come 2026, 2027. And they are fired up and excited about that opportunity to participate and make sure that the transformation agenda succeeds. Right? So you have these three blocks. The folks in the diaspora, and you're talking about a good 5,000 people or so, they will return to participate in our election and to vote come the next election, between now and the next election. You could put your pot on fire between 3,000 to 5,000 people. And then you're looking at the people in the middle, between 3,000 to 5,000 people again. And then you're looking at the NDC base, between 25,000 to 30,000 people. That's a winning formula That's a winning formula. Focusing on those groups and making sure that they're happy and making sure that they're pleased with what's going down. That's all you need to do. Because you cannot turn these NNP supporters. You cannot change them. You can't. You can't get them on your side easily like this. Because they have been inculcated. They have been indoctrinated over many, many years. You cannot bend that tree anymore. It is tough. And no matter what you do, you could do good for them, you could do good for the community, you could do good for Grenada, and they would still not support you, and they would still bad talk you, and they would still call radio programs and complain, and they would still be at the NNP meetings, and you cannot change these people. You can't. Because they cannot reason. They cannot think for themselves. They're not logical in their thinking. And don't try to get these people on your side. They would not come on your side, no matter what you do. For them, personally, they still will not come on your side. So it is important sometimes to focus on winning an election. Yes, you're focusing on governing the country, but sometimes you have to move into that direction on focusing on winning an election, doing things to win an election. Sometimes you have to do that. It's all good to govern, right? And try to appease or please some of these people. Okay, that's governance. But when it comes to the politics and winning an election, you have to please your supporters. And the three blocks, the base of the NDC, the people in the middle, and those in the diaspora. Focus on that. Making sure that you do things to help them, your people. That is important, very important, because no matter how many times the government would do things for this, that person, once they support an NNP, it's hard. They're going to pretend, they're going to lie for you to get certain things because they want to survive, they want to live. But when you go down to basics, when you get down on the ground, to win an election, you have to focus on your people. If they're happy, if they're pleased, you're going to win, and you're going to win, and you're going to win. Nobody could stop you from winning. So sometimes you have to focus on winning an election, not just on governing. Yes, you govern, but you have to also tailor it to win the election. That's important. Because don't believe you can change some of these NNP supporters. They cannot think for themselves. They cannot reason for themselves. They can't. No matter what you do for them. And you have relationships like that, too. You pick up somebody and you think you could change them. So you bring them to do a manicure and a pedicure, right? You do the hair, you dress them up, they get their little license, they get a little walk, and in minute time, they start to become comfortable. Look out. They go back to their bad ways. They start doing all what they used to do before. They go back to their bad ways. And then they start to get bright. They start to disrespect you. Then they start to get bright. They start to get a clique around them. All of a sudden, they have all kind of friends now. All kind of parties, all kind of, lineman buddies and so on. All of a sudden. Because, they start shaping up and looking okay. And you understand the point? You bring them, you fix them up. And then they start to, you understand the point? Same thing with those NNP supporters. It's a similar situation. So you can't change these people. In the immediate, you're going to appear as though you're changing them. But you're not changing these people. When stupid season comes around, they're back to their old bad, dirty ways. That's how they function. When I look at those zonal meetings, I look at the faces of the people who are there at all the meetings. So I check out the NNP zonal meetings. And it's pretty much the same set of people going to all these meetings. They're not growing in numbers, not even viewership, much less. The viewership remains the same. They're carrying their program on all different platforms. That zonal meeting on all different platforms, they're bringing it. But the numbers, the people are not growing. So they're not seeing more people coming to their zonal meetings. And every time they have those meetings, is a negative press that comes out of it. Negative. So they're not growing. They're not expanding. But you cannot change these people. And don't even try to attempt. Don't even attempt to change them. You can't. Focus on your supporters. Make sure that they're happy. Please them as much as you can. Focus on those in the middle, because those in the middle, they're not NNP, they're not NDC. They just want good for Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. And focus on those in the diaspora who are totally on board with the transformation agenda. And once you have that, you're done pack. You win the election over and over and over again. Sometimes you have to focus on winning an election, not just on governing. Yes, you can govern, because you see, when you speak about governance, then they say you are elected for everybody. So you have to please everybody. NNP, NDC, PLM, GULP, you have to please everybody. You have to provide service for everybody. You have to help everybody. That is governance. But when you focusing on winning an election, you're governing to win an election, then you focus primarily on your supporters to get the numbers, and on the people in the middle who are pleased with your performance, and those in the diaspora who are even more excited about the transformation agenda. This is important. Very, very important. Yeah. So there must be some balancing act. There must be some tactical, strategic and structural move made to make sure that you remain in power. Because you can govern and try to please everybody and still lose the election. Because you cannot change those NNP supporters. They get roadwork, they're happy with that. They get material assistance, they're happy with that. They under the seed program, they're happy with that. They get the back to school voucher, they're happy with that. Right? They get a piece of road done in the area, they're happy with that. They get something given away, they're happy with that. That's how they function. Right? Money given away here, there, and everywhere, they're happy with that. But that happiness would not be sustained. No. When stupid season comes around again, they're gone with their party. And they're showing the colors even now. Even now. Because they care about their party, not about country. All right? But you're talking about millions of dollars going towards them with all the social safety net programs. Because if you go throughout Grenada, most of the poor people in Grenada, they support the NNP. Because the NNP, in my belief, would keep these people poor, in poverty. In poverty, you heard Keith Mitchell himself speaking about where they go to shop and so on. Yeah? Where they go shop and where they shopping and where they shopping. Don't forget that. Yeah? He said something about Miami and he referenced them as poor people. Use words to that effect. Something about that. Poor. Something about poor. I think you refer to them as poor. Let me look for it. Something here. Yeah? Something around the place about poor. He used words to that effect. That is how he sees them. That's how he sees his supporters. They're poor and they are vulnerable. Poor and vulnerable. That's exactly how he sees them.
You know, when poor people have money, everybody get piece of the money. When big people have money, they spend it in Miami and New York and so on. Well, I'm telling you the truth. When I have to buy a shirt, I go in Miami and buy my shirt. But you poor, you don't go in.
Right. So if he has to buy a shirt, he goes to Miami because the guy he has, Keith Mitchell, is a millionaire. All right. But you poor, you're going in the ordinary store, not so? Yeah, you're going to St. George's and buy it in the Indian store, the Syrian store.
You the truth, when if I have to buy a shirt, I go in Miami and buy my shirt. But you poor, you don't go in, you buying it right here. They going in the shop, you buy the pound of flour.
Right? Yeah, you're going to buy the pound of flour in the shop. Yeah, that's how he sees his supporters, as poor and vulnerable and needy. But you can't change these people. All right? You can't. So you have to focus on your supporters. You have to focus on the people in the middle. What makes them happy? What keeps them supporting you and appreciating what you're doing? And then you focus on those in the diaspora. The three groups. You cannot get those NNP supporters on your side. You can't. They would always remain NNP. And they would be the ones calling programs and complaining and grinding and groaning. They're the ones who want to initiate some kind of confrontation, some kind of bacchanal. So you have to remain focused on that front to look at your demographic, your set of people who will support you. It's what it is. All right? And the NNP right now, they're under real pressure. And I know when they're under pressure, anytime you see the NNP under pressure, they would attack Kem Jones. Anytime they're under pressure, they would find something, some way to come after Kem Jones when they're under pressure and when they get in the pressure from this program. You hear me? They're under real pressure. So we were at, and as I told you yesterday, I was at the Grandance Craft, Spice and Craft Market area there. You know, you have Esther's Bar and TC and the others there, you know, down at that area at Grandance Beach. But normally, they would close the gates, the main gates, at a particular time. Even if you're in there and you're drinking, you're eating or whatever there, they would close it at a particular time. So there was this 3 or 4 NNP guys who were right there. They normally come around, a whole pile of them in a particular space. So a couple of us say, well, we're going to just climb over the fence, right? The gates area, and that fence to get over, to get out, to exit, instead of going all the way back up to get out. So I did the same, but they captured me climbing the fence, right? And I slipped. But nothing wrong with that. That's human. You walk in on the street and you could slip and fall down. That's normal. But they have nothing else to do, to say. So what they did with their idle self is to take that and upload it on Facebook to get 15 seconds of fame, as though that would have an impact on me. That would never have an impact on me. They have done worse to your humble servant, Kem Jones, and I'm still standing. And they still got beaten in the last election. They got real licks, and they're going to get more licks come the next election. So they need to understand, right, that these things don't faze me. But the reason why they're doing that is because I decided to take legal action against one of their own, in terms of the opposition forces. So there's this guy who's a part of the opposition forces. He has this platform and so on. So I'm taking legal action against him. And because of that, they have a problem. They have a serious problem. So they want to attack me, but I'm accustomed. Look, they've attacked me on every front already. I remember they did a video where they were showing me eating. Look, they went on my Facebook page. They took photos from me being in China, Japan, Singapore, Colombia, Canada, the United Kingdom, Brazil, Guyana, Antigua, Barbados, Jamaica. They took photos of me, eating at different locations here in Grenada. And they concoct that, they put that together. And they say, well, look at what he does do with the money, eating food in that place, and look at what he's doing with this and do it. They did that, they attacked me, they attacked my family, and still they got their tail cut, real licks in the last election. They were badly beaten. So I am accustomed to those personal attacks. But they know, once they step on my toe, and I realize that there is room for me to sue them, I will do so. I will sue them. So they know that. Don't think they know. And they realize that Kim Jones decided to sue this individual, and a lot of them calling him, They're calling him and say, oh boy, you crossed the line. I think you did wrong. And in fact, the said individual offered an apology to his viewers, not to me, to his viewers. Yeah, to his viewers, and he crossed the line and he this and he apologized. But I don't just want apology. I want more than that. All right? Because when a person damage your character and good name, they must compensate. They must be made to pay. So they're feeling the pressure. The pressure is mounting. And they know that. The pressure is mounting on them. And they're scared. They're scared like hell. They're scared bad, bad, bad. Because I'm staying the course, doing what I must do. Defending our party, promoting our party, defending our government, and promoting our government. And most of all, defending our beloved political leader and prime minister, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team. So they're scared. And I know when they're scared because I have been around here for the last decade and more, decade and counting. I've been out here long enough to know them, to know their character traits and how they function when they're under pressure. Serious pressure. Real pressure. So right now, they're dealing with that reality. They're dealing with the reality that they have to pay. All right? They have to pay. And Preston, don't come under my platform, my brother, and believe you could ask and say things. Go under the NNP platform or go under somebody else's platform. Not this platform. No. I don't have to tell you what he said. On the day of the court, on the day of the legal, well, if it reached to that far, if they didn't settle before, all right, you will know. To be published. You frightened? Yeah. Don't come under that live and talk your rubbish. You hear me, brother? Me and you good. Let's remain like that. Because you know, under this live, the minute time you just block you you can't see nothing, you can't hear nothing under that platform. Right? Because I know where you stand. Politically. You know I know. So I am saying again, folks, the day would come. So the pre-action letter goes out to the individual. All right? First thing, pre-action letter. You get the pre-action letter, you respond to it within 14 days, reasonable time. All right? And if you respond and it's not favorable, we take the matter to court. We go to court, the actual court itself. Then you go through the process, case management, mediation, all, you go through the process and then you go for a final, you get a judgment against the individual. If it's not resolved at that level, yeah, you get a judgment. Yeah, man. You will take it from there. You see, you have to respect. Not because you have a mic in front of you, it means that you could just go and say anything about people and get away with it. No, sir. No. You have to be responsible. And don't just hurry and you hurry come up and you dash into this business thinking that you could just, no, sir. No. And you know what I learned about this thing? When all these people who cheering you on, right? When all these people cheering you on, when time to pay up, when time for court matter now, and serious matter, they're not around you. They're not on your side. They're not there to give you help to foot the bill. Because I remember when I took WeFM and Patrick Shaggy Duncan to task, when I had my lawyer serve them a pre-action letter for statements that were made on the plea due cause program. And all the people were cheering him on because WeFM quickly accepted liability. And I was not pursuing them for money. I could have done that. All right? But I didn't go down that road. But not this time around. I decided, apologize publicly on a number of times and clear my name. So they did that. All right? But that situation had gone beyond that. So WFM settled all the up. They paid the lawyer and so on. But then Patrick Shaggy Duncan decided, well, we go continue the thing, the matter. And then I think we reached to case management, somewhere there, before a master judge, right? Well, they call them the master, a judge. And they decided, well, they're going to take the offer, apologize for a period of time, and pay out my lawyer. And that was it. They apologized and over they apologized. They did it wrong the first time, second time, and right? Different case, different matter. Not this time wrong. And they know that I'm legally minded. I know walk over. All right? They know that. They know when Kem Jones speak on this program is because he has legal grounds to take certain to take certain actions. They know. They're fully aware of that. Don't think they know. So they're scared. They're frightened. They're shaking in their boots. But who would come to help this guy? Who? You think they're coming to help him? And I'm taking legal action against the NNP too. Because his program was streamed live on NNP, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique Facebook page. Right? That official Facebook page. I think it's called, let me get it here. Yeah. And they know I follow everything. I don't joke where that is concerned. They're fully aware. Don't think they know what's going on. They know. They know fully well what is going on. The name of the page, I have it somewhere here. NNP, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. All right, so that's our official NNP page, official page of the NNP. So that too, I will be taking legal action against them too, against the NNP, both of them, the individual and the NNP. So going after both of them. Yeah, they go learn. You must learn. You have to have respect for Kem Jones. I am in this business long enough. And anytime you seek to damage my good name and character, you will be made to pay. All right? You will be made to pay because at the end of the day, you could have freedom. Yes, you have a mic, you have a camera rolling, you have freedom, but it comes with a level of responsibility. And there are consequences for every action. You don't believe you could damage my good name and character and get away with it. No. You're mad? Which part? Not Kem Jones. No, sir. So, folks, they're under pressure and they're feeling it. And anytime the pressure starts to mount, they start to do stupidness. So they post this video, Kem Jones going over. Who is Kem Jones? A talk show host, a young man from Grand Roy. Simple guy. I am not an elected member of parliament. I'm not even appointed as a senator. I am not any advisor or any senior government official. I'm just Kem Jones. But they believe Kem Jones is so popular, so loved, so liked, that they would get some more views or more likes by posting a video of Kem Jones going over a fence or a gate. The next thing they would come and they would do a video with me having coffee in on my porch or in the yard, on my lawn or wherever I am here. The next thing they will do that. Or maybe if I'm out having a dance, or they would take a video of that and put they have become so, but I don't know. It's sad, but the pressure is mounting on them. The pressure is mounting on them. All right? But folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I will be back with you tonight, God's willing, starting from 8 in the p.m. 8 in the p.m. I'll be back with you. Take good care and happy birthday to Paula Modeste. Happy birthday to you. You're a regular on this platform. Have a wonderful day. Take good care and bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now. We have gone over